Hello, hi everybody, it's Paul here from the War HQ, and today we're looking at Warlord Games' new M3 Stuart from Italiari, and it's 28mm 156 plastic. It's got the stat cards and the little smoke markers, etc., construction leaflet and water slide decals it tells us on the front. Sides are pretty uninspiring. Back gives us a little bit of artwork. Try and keep the gloss of the paper, of the plastic wrap out your eyes, but it gives us a few examples of the ones it can make up with a little bit of history. We've got a US one from Tunisia, British honey, hull mounted flamethrower version, and the Soviet land lease versions there. These ones are going to be popular little tanks. M3 Stuart is fairly cheap. I think that with the extra machine guns we can take up to you'll get up to 5 machine guns on this one, I believe, possibly 6, can't remember my stats exactly. So that would be sort of 5 medium machine guns for the cost of I think it's about 160 regular with the extra machine guns, etc. You're getting an awful lot of shots out of this, 25 upwards plus your light anti-tank, so probably one of the cheapest options per shot. Gives you mobile machine guns, so these are going to be very popular in a lot of people's allied armies, possibly even Japanese armies. You can run these in Japanese units, and I think Mr. Gossie's winning army at BritCon this year, that's 2017, he ran these with loads of bamboo warriors and it worked out very well for him. So let's go on, open this up. So we're going to take the knife to this shiny plastic and get that out of the way. Oh, it's always fun to take the plastic out. There we go, and we'll throw knife and that off to the side. Open up and let's see what we get inside the box. So we're opening up and put that at the back there. So here we have the damage markers. It's a nice wee touch that they're putting in with all these. Nice to see them making a big effort. We've got the instructions there. I'm guessing the water slide decals are in there, and the cards for this little boy, and he will tell me what options we've got there. Oh, it depends which one you've got. I'll need to look it up. But we've got them there. I think there's a couple of cards in there, depending which version you're making. There's a little advert sheet for Warlord and Italiari there. We'll get rid of that. There we've got the full instructions there, and looks fairly straightforward. Gives us the various versions. It's a gatefold one, this. It's looking quite good there, and on there gives us all the options. I wonder, does it tell you where the decals go on this one? Ooh, I don't think it does, so I would need to check. It's got markings here, so it might do. I'll need to check these. So the last instructions, it actually gave you decals, the positioning of the decals, but we'll see. And then here we've got the actual sprues. There's 2 sprues enclosed in the sheets, so we will open them off camera. See much ripping of plastic. There we go, it's all done. So we've got 2 sprues. First sprue is gun carriage, lots of plates for the armour. We've got see various commanders there, depending which army you're going to look it up for. Looks like Russian, British, American. And we've got the turret details over here, and then on the other one we've got sort of main hull chassis. And if we turn over, have a look, we've got tanks there. I'm guessing that'll be for the flamethrower version. That was the Satan, I think. There's the tracks. The tracks come in multiple pieces, if you can see them. So that'll be fun to make up and see how they do. I know Rubicon tracks all come in one piece, but so far since I have made these Warlord tracks, to their credit, have been fairly easy to put together, so we'll see how that works out. So there we go. Can't remember how much this comes in at. Italiari kit, probably mid £20. I think that's fairly good value for money. But once we make it up, we see how detailed this kit is, and we'll come back and show you the made up kit. Hello everybody, so we've got this little pal made up. The sides, the tracks aren't actually fixed on because I like to paint my tracks separately, but it turned out, and it is a lovely wee model. It's quite detailed, but you're going to need to have a wee think about making it up. I said before, I think this comes in at 155 with 6 mmgs, so a lot of shot for your bucks in either Japanese or Allied armies. I'm running with Russians, Americans and some Brits. Not too sure that every army gets the 6 machine guns, but have a look it up and see if you'd like to make this. Now, as I said, the tracks in this came in separate pieces, and I'm going to show you that separately. Also, the tank has little lugs, and there's only one position you can put the turret on. If you look at the bottom there, see the 2 lugs there? They're not directly opposite each other, meaning there's only sort of one position you can fix the turret on easily, and that's in that position. Whoops, a daisy, dropped it. Just give me a second, have a look at that while I pick up the turret. This hasn't quite dried fully yet, but it hasn't dried badly. It's a position something like that, and it's quite tricky and fiddly, as you can see. So I'm probably going to cut those lugs off and just let it sit in. But I think it's quite a nicely detailed one. I've done this version, which I think is a Tunisia American version, but just because it's got as many machine guns as possible. I think this is only modelled with 5 machine guns, but you can actually, it comes with 2 hull mounted as base, and you can add another 2 hull mounted on various builds. But I like this model a lot now that it's built, but building it was not fun. So let's go over that. Let's remove this turret. Oops, it was that way, wasn't it? There we go, turret comes off. And let's take one of these tracks off and show you one or two things. So, looking at the instructions, the tracks. Now, I've made a fair few models, and this one wasn't the trickiest I've done, but it was pretty tricky with the tracks. The tracks come numbered up with the same numbers right and left. This top track here, part number 14, there is a right and a left to it, so you want to be careful which one you have off, because it's not made, they haven't given a different number. All the other parts can be right or left, and when you make up the tracks have got little lugs on them, so you want to make them up in order to put the top one first, then this round the back wheel, then the bottom, and then these 2 on last. I think it's part number, I've marked it up as 5 there. You should really put 6 as your 5th bit, and number 5 should be your last bit. That's the one with no lugs that will fit in. They didn't fit perfectly, but they are pretty good. But as I say, they were a wee bit fiddly. This last stretch here is just a millimetre too big, so when you fit it in you have to lift this one up and it doesn't fit. But once you get it made up, you can see it all fits together. It just took me a bit of time to do it, lads. Persevere with it. It is a nice little kit. It does allow you to paint your tracks separately if you want to, but other kits, they come with these. Rubicon model comes with these as one part, and it saves you modelling time. What else is worth pointing out? Don't know if you can quite see it there. Let's give you a close-up look. We're looking at fitting the hull top to the base hull, and see where I've circled with the blue pen. There's a little pin that fits in that female hole, and where I've got the other circle down here, there's also a female pin and hole, and you've got to realise that are there for your hull to fit in, and it's a bit fiddly to get it, and once you do it, not quite sized right, just millimetres, but I ended up using elastic bands while it dried. So that was the next awkward bit. Then I didn't make up the instructions for these ones, which is the M3 Stuart and whatever, but I went to the M3A1 Stuart. No, I didn't. I went on, yes I did. I did bits and pieces of that, so I've got a mismatch here. I didn't put the skirts on though, I didn't want the skirts on, just to make it easier for painting on this one, and it's be a captured Japanese one, this particular one, that's what it's destined for. And then on the back, a couple of wee parts. Now, the turret. The turret was awkward as heck. What I ended up doing was, for building it, the base ring and these two side bits I did as one, which leaves a gap for your front gun assembly here, and then I put that on. I allowed the one parts I've marked there, one to partly dry, then I fitted two, and then I fitted the top in, and when it's all sort of sticky and can be moved a bit, I managed to get it all to slot in. It was very tight to get it to work properly, but you'll see I've managed to get it worked in there properly, and once I clean it up, that wee excess glue will come off, and it all does fit pretty nicely. But it was awkward to get this front plate, yeah, try and get it in focus, come on, focus for me, let me just automatic focus it, there we go. To get that front plate with the gun assembly to fit nice and neat, and I ended up using elastic bands to get that all in, but we got there. The next bit, let me take the F-lock off, there we go. The next bit that was awkward, this bit here isn't numbered, it's part number 70, and it's the assembly. It's this back assembly for that machine gun, and as you can see, because I've got it a bit wonky, still partly wet, so I can straighten that up. That was awkward to do. Let me just lock it in there. There we go. That was awkward to do, and I'm not sure why that part's there. You need it to get it all to fit together, but they could have made it a wee bit better than that. So those were the awkward bits. I would have said, take the AF lock off, I would have said that you need to be quite expert to do it. I would also say that you want to make it very slowly, like with the tracks. I would put one bit in, let it dry, do your next bit of track, let it dry, next bit of track. And for the turret assembly, get the bits, as I say, fitting, let it dry. So it's going to be quite a slow build if you're making it up properly. If you haven't got a lot of experience, it could be quite a challenge to put together, but I think it's well worth it because I really like the model now it's all assembled. As I say, I would probably, for gaming, cut those little lugs off so that the top just slid in and out. But all in all, it's a great little kit. I would say, as I say, a bit of experience to make it. Lots of dry fitting if you haven't made one before, and again, with all the little bits and pieces that you get with this tank. I love the card idea, and these little blast markers are quite fun, and it's a nice wee bit to put in. So I think great kit. I would certainly buy it again. I would certainly build it again. Be a lot quicker now I've done it once, and I would give it maybe 3.5 to 4 stars out of 5. I would say the Rubicon kit is slightly ahead of it for ease of build. Rubicon kit is quite nicely made, so I'd maybe give the Rubicon kit 4 stars just overall for this one. But great little addition. The Rubicon kit doesn't come with the extra machine guns though, it's a late war Stuart. So this is something slightly different, fills that gap for the guys that want to have a few more machine guns on their Stuart. Anyway, please comment and like us and follow us both on YouTube and Facebook, guys. Thank you very much. Mahalo for now.